Hello and welcome, tutors. I'm glad you're going to be with us and helping us being as Math Lab mentors. Thought I'd shoot a short video for you and say, hey, this is kind of what the mentors are, why we're doing it, and how we need your help. So I thought a good way to introduce this would be to go through the quantitative reasoning process that you guys have seen up on in the Math Lab with the 108 quantitative reasoning process. The first three steps of it are first to identify the problem. Identify what's really going on, what has to happen. Second is to identify the key variables and the assumptions that are going to be influencing what you decide to do. And the third one is the tools. Use the appropriate tools. Well, it turns out that qualitative reasoning isn't a lot different. And then, of course, 4 is implemented. And then 5, well, 5 is evaluate how it's going to work. So let's talk about some of the things. The university has asked that remote instruction take place, which means that a lot of professors that are used to teaching face-to-face are now teaching in a very different medium. They have a very different interaction with students. But from the students' perspective, we still have developmental students. These students have struggled with math for the past 4, 5, 6 years of their life and haven't been able to overcome their fear of algebra, their anxiety, their discouragement. And that's given ideal math circumstances. They've had face-to-face teachers. They might have had really good experiences, but never been able to get the math. We still have those developmental students. And those students are the most at risk at the university because of their academic standing deficiencies. They're at risk and they need that extra guidance and help. We also know that we have some great teachers here, but we didn't decrease the class size at all. And the teachers, in order to make up for the lack of being able to see them face to face, are going to be reaching out to them a lot. But really, to have these guys in a less than ideal situation, and then to make it a remote instruction means that there's got to be a lot of accommodation or a lot of makeup, a lot of us reaching out to the students. And that's really what has to happen, is that there has to be more reaching out and supporting of students. I mean, our teachers are great, but to be able to teach them study skills and lift them and build them where they sometimes can't even meet with them face to face, that's going to be really tough for them. So there's our problem. We have developmental at-risk students who have struggled through even much better circumstances in education, and now they're in a tougher situation. So our variables and our assumptions is that they are going to need a lot more, just a lot more. That's what they're going to need. They might need encouragement in getting their assignments done, navigating Canvas. They may have 4, 5, or 6 classes now, and they've got deadlines. Instead of a piece of paper and going to class physically, kinetically going there to remind them and hold them accountable by seeing the teacher's face, they're now just seeing a whole bunch of due dates, and they may get overwhelmed. They need a lot more encouragement. They may need somebody to reach out. They may need guidance to get a tutor. So the variables, these students, are huge variables right there. And the assumptions are that the needs and deficiencies of the students as they existed before COVID adjusted our lives is that they are going to need a lot more. Those are our variables and our assumptions. And so we come to the final one, and that is tools. And this is where you come in. We have been authorized as a tutoring center to help these students bridge that gap, get that lot more. So we do have tools, we have the teachers, and the teachers are aware of this little program that we're putting out. And we have tutors. Not only do we have tutors, but we have tutors that want to work. They're anxious. They've been hired to tutor and help and lift and build people. And we have some projects that the Math Lab can work on, textbooks, test banks, stuff like that. But as I talk to tutors, I know you guys, you want to help people, you want to lift people, you want to build people. And so here's where we're going to implement the mentoring program, because we have the teachers and the tutors and the time that the tutors want to invest to do this. So I'm going to give you a little general outline of what's going to happen. A teacher will send you an email and say, hey, would you be one of my mentors? So usually there's an initial contact where there's an email or a phone call saying, hey, I need 5 or 6 tutors for this particular class. I need 5 or 6 tutors for this class. And then they will probably assign you to kind of under shepherd a few students. And this is where you're going to be their support, their friend. You might not be their tutor. You may be helping them connect up with a tutor, or you might be the tutor that they select. You guys may have an opportunity to work with Brother Kern, Sister Baloo, Sister Ashcraft, myself, Brother O, and we all might use you a little bit differently. But all of the tutors in our department love the students and are setting up a way to use you as mentors to help these students the very best they can. And so they might not want you to be the tutor. They might want you to help guide them to the tutor, help walk them through. Maybe you'll do a Zoom meeting with them to help walk them through Canvas and help walk them through iPlan and help get them on the MathLab chat and help encourage them to get to bed on time. I mean, there might be, let's see what could happen. You might do some coaching of their life. You might do some tutoring of them. You might be a cheerleader. You might go to class with them a couple of times a week or once a week if your schedule is matching. And that's what one of the teachers says, hey, I need somebody who can meet Tuesday mornings at 8 o'clock. You may be going to class with them and helping as the teacher does breakout sessions. You might be in there with those students that you are assigned to so you can get to know them, so you can talk to them, and so you can help them identify some of the things they need to do in the class and work through some problems with them. You might check up on their grades and remind them to do retakes. The teacher may ask you, hey, can you send some emails? So if you remember doing the pathway liaison work, this is going to be like that, but like so much cooler because you're going to be in with the teacher and you could be the tutor. You might, but you might be requested not to. You'll be able to work with them and help them through the class and report back. Oh, let's talk about that one. The teacher is going to really appreciate you reporting back on how those students are doing as they look through the grades, and they're not able to do all of this for every student. They're going to love to hear you say, hey, you assigned these 5 students to me, 4 of them are doing great, they're on top of things. This one I'm really worried about. I've sent this email, I've walked him through this, but now he's not talking to me, or some other problem. And they're going to really feel, at least if the student chooses not to succeed in the class, we will have done everything we possibly can. So in general, MathLab Mentors, I almost thought about suggesting this name, MathLab Minions, where you get to be minions of these professional educators who've been teaching for some of them just a few years, some of them several decades, and can teach you a lot about education and building and lifting students. But that's really what you become, is a minion of the professor that you're going to work with. We will be posting several more of these videos. Go through them to find out the individual things that are good practices and good ways of doing this with your class. And I hope you thoroughly enjoy it. We'd love your feedback on this program and how it works for the students. Thank you so much.